Welcome to the Devexpress Learn Now series, a set of quick tutorials to help you get started using our products. Today, I'm going to take an existing dashboard layout and add it to a brand new ASP.NET application. In our previous Getting Started video, we created this dashboard. I'm going to go ahead and add to it by right-clicking and selecting Add, New Project. And then I'm going to select an empty web application. Let's call it the web viewer. I'm going to set this as the startup project. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a brand new web form. Let's call it dashboard. And hit OK. Next, I'm going to set it as the startup page, and now we can start adding our dashboard. One of the dependencies that our dashboard system uses is jQuery. I'm going to go ahead and add a reference to that by using the jQuery off a CDN that Microsoft has. Now we're ready to add the dashboard. To do that, I'm going to go down to the Devexpress visualization tools and double click on ASPX dashboard. That will add our dashboard. I'm going to go to design mode and I'm going to change the width so that it fits to about the width of the screen. And now all we need to do is bind it to our dashboard layout. To do that, I'm going to add an existing item. And remember, we left that on the desktop, so I'm going to use the support.xml file. And then in the dashboard, all we need to do is scroll down to dashboard.xml file, hit the ellipsis, and then we're ready to use the support.xml dashboard layout. Okay, we're done. Let's run it and see what happens. All right, and there's the dashboard we created in our Getting Started video visualized inside of an ASP.NET application. Okay, there might be a couple of challenges that you run into, and I will illustrate them here. When we initially created this dashboard, there were a couple of things we did in relation to the database connection. The first thing we did is we used integrated security as the protocol to connect to the database. We made an assumption that the application running would always have the appropriate credentials to connect to the database. In this case, we're using ASPX, which is running under my particular account, which allows me to connect to the database. Let's change this by running the site directly inside of IIS to see what happens. To do that, I need to restart Visual Studio and run it as an administrator. I'm going to right-click and select Run as Administrator. I'm going to open up the demo dashboard project or solution that we've created previously. And then I'm going to go to the web viewer project and change its properties. Let's head on over to the web tab. And down here, I can change what context it's running in. I'm going to uncheck Use ASPX. And then I'm going to click on Create Virtual Directory. All right, let's run it now and see what happens. Notice that it no longer can access the data. And the reason why is because IIS is running under its own IIS user account, which does not have access to the database. Let me show you how to fix this. We have a special event that allows you to trap the connection before it's actually submitted, and it allows you to change the connection settings. Let's do that right now. To make these corrections, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a reference. I'm going to select Devexpress dashboard.core as a new reference that we're going to add. The next thing I'm going to do is go to dashboard.aspx and then go to the special event called Configure Data Connection and double click it. In this particular event, we get the Configure Data Connection event args. We're going to use those to actually use SQL Server authentication rather than integrated security. To do that, I'm going to use a special connection parameters object. I'm going to call it parameters equals e dot connection parameters as MS SQL connection parameters. I'm casting it as that. Notice that you can use a number of databases with dashboards, but in this connection I'm using SQL Server. And here is when we actually set the values of the connection that we want. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to change the authorization type to be SQL Server. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to set the username and password. I'm going to use the SA username. And then I'm going to use the SA password. All right. Let's see if this made a difference. To do that, I'm going to run the project again. All right, notice that the dashboard is back and working. In this particular case, you recall we moved the site over to IIS where integrated security no longer worked. To correct this, we handled a special event called the Configure Data Connection event to trap the configuration, change it on the fly, and then submit it back, hence giving us this dashboard. Thanks for watching, and let's see what develops.